Hi, I'm Dr. Taryn Lupo, and my whole adult life, I've kind of yo-yoed with my weight and had weight issues. The biggest problem I had was no matter what diet I tried, I'd have these horrible cravings that would eventually show up and derail what I was doing. I finally figured out how to crush these cravings and get rid of them, but it took me a long time. I'm going to share with you how I did it. The big secret is to load your body up with micronutrients. By that I mean vitamins and minerals that you don't normally get. If you eat a standard American diet, you're horribly depleted of nutrition and you're very dehydrated. What happens is we grow up eating a standard American diet and the body's never had a healthy amount of micronutrients. If you can get a healthy level in your body, your brain will stop the cravings. So it's a nasty cycle. What happens right now is you're just chronically depleted in nutrition. So the brain goes out and it's like, hey, go eat something. So you go eat something. And then 30 minutes later, it never got the micronutrients it wants. So it says, hey, go eat something else. And even though I'm full, I'm hungry again. So you go rummage around and you eat something else. And probably if you're eating the standard American diet, it has no nutrition either. So this cycle goes on all day long where the brain just keeps telling you to go eat stuff and you're not giving it what it wants. When you finally give it what it wants, the cravings stop. Let me show you how to do that. The best source of micronutrients are green leafy vegetables, and kale is one of my favorite. You can also use spinach, watercress, anything like that that's green and leafy will usually have high amounts of it. Now, this is the best, but a lot of people don't want to eat this much stuff a day, so you'll understand why juicing is also really popular. I'm going to juice this down, and I'm going to drink it first thing in the morning. Now, in order to juice this so it doesn't taste like, kale by itself is not so good, I'm going to show you what else I add. Okay, so this is one of my favorite recipes I start the morning with, and this was given to me by my friend Mo. What I do is I cut up a half a cucumber, and I put them in this shape so they're easy to juice. And then you want a half a lemon. And you want to leave the pith on. So you cut off the yellow rind and leave the pith. The pith has awesome nutrients in it. And recently there's some studies showing how good it is fighting breast cancer. So try to always eat your lemons with a pith. So this is my juicer. It's known as a masticating juicer. And I think this is the best one on the market for the price. Now, masticating juicers mimic chewing foods, so they actually crush the cell walls and the nutrients come out and you get all the enzymes and all the nutrients at a low temperature. There are other kind of juicers that spin around, they're called centrifugal, and they kind of burn the nutrients and the enzymes out of it. You have to be careful. So if you get a choice to buy one, get a masticating. They're a lot better. I'm going to feed the kale in first, and if it gets too dry, I will put through some cucumber and I'll save the lemon until the end. Okay. Now, sometimes stuff gets stuck and it has a reverse button. So you can push the reverse, reverses it, and then you just go forward again and it clears it out. Now, what I do is I try to separate and save the kale chunks, and the lemon's not very good in it because I'm going to use this in my salad. So I separate the lemon out. Now you'll get about a cup of juice or so, and you'll notice there's foam on the top. You'll want to skim off the foam. It tastes terrible and it's mainly oxidation. It's not that great for you anyway. So just skim off the foam and then you'll mix it with some water and drink it. So what's nice about this juicer is it's all self-contained. and it's really easy to clean. All this comes off with just a screw, and then it unscrews, and we can clean it pretty quickly. And I'll show you that in a minute. So this part just unscrews and comes apart. There's a little catch screen in here that has some vegetable matter, and then the actual drill part here. And that's it. It comes apart real easy. You just clean it off, catch it up. Pretty much everything just comes right clean. The only hard part to wash is the screen. You need a toothbrush for that. When you buy it, the company sends a toothbrush and you just scrape it clean when you wash it. It only takes a second. So you can try to filter it out. Sometimes it's just easier to grab it with a spoon and skim it and just throw it out this way. I find you might lose a little juice, but it's a lot faster. And you don't have to get it all, just get the big chunks and you'll be good to go. And that's about it. So what I'll do is I'll pour this in a glass. And then I fill up about another half of this. Basically a 2-to-1 ratio of water. Or sorry, I mean a 1-to-1 ratio of water. So I'm going to use my filtered water over here. And that's about enough. So this is what you're going to drink. So if you have insulin resistance, diabetes, or stubborn weight issues, this is a great way to start the day. You want to flood your body with the micronutrients. It also turns off your cravings. So if you drink this first before you do the rest of your day, your cravings will be much, much better. And over time, the cravings will go away, but you have to play catch up of a lifetime of a nutritionally deficient diet. So you got to drink a lot of these in the beginning. Now, if you don't want this, you can always eat a salad, and or you could take some wheatgrass if you just want like a shot of wheatgrass. And I'm going to show you how to do that now. By the way, if you want to actually see which juicer I use myself and I recommend, just check the description below. There's a link there. Anyway, back to the wheatgrass. I actually grow my own wheatgrass because it's so much more affordable. And I can put a link below and show you where to get that too. But the reason wheatgrass is so amazing and has been around for a long, long time is it's jam-packed with more micronutrients than just about any plant out there. So you get a lot of bang for the buck for just about an ounce of this drink. Since I'm bringing this wheatgrass in from the outside, I give it a good washing. And a good way to do that with any vegetables is to use a combination of vinegar and also hydrogen peroxide. Try to get the food grade if possible. And then you just rinse it with filtered water. So you can see me here, and I give it a really good rinsing. And then it's ready to juice. I know it doesn't seem like it made much, but don't let this little amount fool you. It's super dense with nutrients. It even has a good source of B12. If you really want to get full power out of your wheatgrass, swish it around your mouth. It's really good for your gums, and then hold it under your tongue as long as possible. Just kind of use it like mouthwash. So what I do after I have my juice is I wait about a half hour to an hour, and then at lunchtime-ish I have a salad. Now, My salad here is about a half a pound to a pound of spinach or some green leafy thing. You want a lot of it, okay? I also save the kale that I just juiced, and I throw it into the salad. And this is some carrots that I juiced earlier, and I just usually grab a handful or two. So I make sure I use the vegetables pulp because it still has a lot of good nutrients in it. I throw a couple raw onions in. Onions are really, really good for you when they're raw. So you try to do a few of those. And then lastly, we grow our own sprouts. It's much cheaper than buying them at the store. So I'm pretty liberal with how many sprouts I use. I usually use a chunk of them, or if you bought this at a store, it'd be almost a whole serving. Just grow your own, it's way cheaper. And we just tear those up and put them in. And I'll take you in a second, I'll show you the rest of the recipe. Now, to give my salad something interesting, I usually put a piece of fruit in. I like these yellow delicious apples, they're pretty sweet. So I use those and I just sprinkle them in. And I also do a handful of raisins. And these are, you don't want to go crazy on the raisins, just a small amount. Just throw them in there. Now the other thing you want is dressing. And it's best to make your own dressing. There's lots of recipes on the internet. If you look up low-fat raw dressings, they'll come up. You want fat-free. That's my favorite. If you have to buy a dressing, it's okay. Just pick a fat-free one that doesn't have a bunch of junk in it. And I like this brand a lot. They don't put too much fillers. Sometimes they do add sugar though. So just be careful what you're picking and try to make your own when you can. To summarize, you're going to need lots of micronutrients in order to get your cravings to go away. Now, it takes a little while, so you'll be doing this for a few months until the cravings stop completely. But in the beginning, make sure you do this first thing in the morning as your first meal, and then it'll keep you from overeating the rest of the day. You also have to deal with the bad habits that got you here and the emotional connection to the food and that addiction too. If you only address the chemical addiction and not the emotional addiction, you'll never make it into a lifestyle change. So my next video is going to address that. Stick with me and check that out. Also coming up in my third video, I'm going to show you my secret weapon about how I ate tons and tons of ice cream.